Hello. Um, if you're watching this, I haven't posted in quite a while. I would like to get to the point where I'm posting more often, but anyway, um, I wanted to kind of bring forth a more positive energy to the Taurus new moon that is actually on May 16th, and I wanted to bring forth this new energy so I could feel more. Anyways, I wrote about it, and then I'm gonna read you what I wrote for myself, and then I'm gonna go through some cards that I have already laid out, and so here it goes. I wrote this, and thank you for being here. If you're here, and this is what I'm writing, what I wrote. So I wrote New Moon in Taurus. I, Joseph Lindsay, will not be. Stupid. My dog just farted. Anyways, sorry. Apologize. But when it's very silent, you hear your dog freaking rip one. Anyways, I apologize for the comedic. Anyway, this is about the new moon in Taurus, not my dog's fart. Alright. I, Joseph Lindsay, will not be so disgruntled and will not be a slave to negative thoughts, only thought, ideas, and epiphanies that serve my highest good. Only good, no evil. My shadow has work to do, but I am an honest, nice, competent person, and I know I am not a bad person. All love that I am capable of understanding, I will embody it as best and as present as I can. No bad vibes, getting back to being a good listener and not assuming what is not mine to carry. Moving in a direction that is for my heart's content, which involves being open to forgiveness and hope. I won't be left behind. On the contrary, I will rise up smarter, stronger, more blessed, and more accepted by universal love, God's love, ancestral love, and the one that loves me for me and them for who they are. Fix what has been broken and be stronger for it. Together all is possible. I love you. Alright. So, I wanted to, move past any negative thoughts or ideations that might be present, if any. I want to, I work on how I approach things and really get to know myself for who I am, and really be comfortable with what I'm bringing, because I'm more than just the negative, like, thought patterns. I go deep sometimes, into like what can be perceived as an abyss, but really it's just a deeper knowing of everything that has been part of your life that you fail to look at, but you do it anyway. But that's just, this regular shadow work, right? And but for me, it's very deep. It's very deep, and I really go into that deep stuff. I know, not everybody has, like, not everybody's a part of the brotherhood of psychology, or not everybody's everybody's got experiences. Everybody's got path. Everybody's got a past, and to really dive deep into that for you, but for me, I at an early age, like 18, you're just becoming an adult, and you come down with a serious illness like schizoaffective disorder. You may not be able to see it on my face, but I had to overcome a lot, and so I become a victim to my own thought processes and ideations, and I went through a period of time where I thought I was stronger than that, and so I pushed it aside and thought I'm just gonna move forward with my direction, move forward with my life, but I chose to really go deep into my past, and I'm going to be better for it. So with that being said, I could keep going, and maybe I should, and I will. And recently I had some espresso with a good friend of mine named David. Not to name drop a badass, but truly, when me and him teamed up back in the day, dude, him and I were the only two that were going to college and in high school, and and we held down a job at the same time, and he even took it a step further and did bodybuilding, which was wonderful. But I came down with part of it was this energy, 5 of Swords, right? And what is this about? This is about like collective conflict, right? Collective conflict, right? And you may think that it's just about perception, and part of it is, but part of it is how you choose to really, what you let into your temple, and who sits at your chair, who sits at what table, what energy do you allow in, and there are many things. How do you cope with it? How do you live with it? How do you continue to move forward? All those things. And in a collective consciousness, 5 of Swords has got to be the most, well, I don't know if it's the most, but it's really bad, right? So how do you deal with those things? Well, you try to stay, grounded in the present and stuff, and that's part of the new moon. The new moon, right? In the Taurus, right? Which is about grounding energy. Taurus is grounding energy, right? And so if you can use this new moon to really, people have been saying, to set intentions or drop seeds, or, or choose certain paths and directions, and I think all those things are great, and I think those are things that you should do, and those are things that I'm going to do, because I have to better myself. I can't be underneath this. I can't be underneath it. I have to choose to be more than what, certain things like an illness, like a mental capacity illness chooses to bring down, and me being a Pisces, right? What does that have to do with anything, right? Well, I'm naturally, soft, right? Right? I'm naturally soft, but in turn I am wise, right? And I think being a Pisces, and also growing up named Joseph, kind of made me soft and susceptible to being taken advantage of, right? And not giving myself the strength to be more prideful. While I did have inner strength for dealing with things like 5 of Swords conflict at the time, it really, I had to carry that all throughout my life. And at like I was mentioning before about being 18 and coming down with an illness and having my life switched around and going to a homeless shelter and doing all these things, and being part of all this negativity. And I don't know if negativity is the theme here. I'm just saying that, I've had to go through a lot, and I'm sure you've had to go through a lot too, whoever's watching this, right? And in this world, there's a lot of collective things that you have to sort through, and you have to choose what works and what doesn't, right? You have to know, and part of that is having a fortified mind. And for me, I'm diagnosed schizoaffective. While I am stable and I plan on remaining stable, there is conflict that I have to do because I'm naturally soft and naturally perceptive to being taken advantage of, at least in the mind, psychologically. Because if somebody can psych you out, if somebody can get in your head, then they've already won, right? So try to have a fortified mind. I'm kind of getting a little off track here, but anyways, with the energy of the new moon, we start at the five of swords, right? And moving into that, after the next card is the Queen of Cups, and that is about feminine mastery, the mastery over your feminine emotions. And you would be very wise to balance out your masculine and feminine energy, and moving out of the Five of Swords into the feminine mastery of emotions with the Queen of Cups. That's what you have to do in order to really kick out all the gunk and the tar and the black magic that has come into your vicinity, whether that's your temple, your home, you taking a walk on the street and you see something fucked up and now it's a part of you. I don't know. Think whatever. You'd be wise to have a balanced feminine energy over your emotions, right? It's probably like your left brain and your right brain sort of thing, right? So moving on, after the feminine energy, it might be what saves you, right? Then you get the Justice card, right? Which is like really, things are going to work out, but you'd be wise to hold on. And Justice is going to really work out for you, especially if you plan on being if you are a kind individual. Things work out for you, and it's not so bad that they do, because you're not evil, you're kind, and you don't let other people's weaknesses, perceived weaknesses, be a reason to torment, right? And if you are susceptible to torment, I feel like, as long as you pay attention and balance your emotions, justice will work out in your favor, even through all the Five of Swords negativity, right? Yeah. And after the justice is served, right, in this little section process that is basically my energy for the new moon in Taurus, right? But it can be yours too. You get the star. After justice, there's hope, right? There's hope, right? And but you gotta have a clean mind and a good approach. And the star is really hope, that things will work out. I mean, what did you get before justice? Right after that, You get hope. You get hope. And this feminine energy I haven't seen in a while, right? I haven't seen her in a while, but she's cutting through the noise, you know? She's cutting through the noise with her intellectual, you know, abilities and stuff, you know? So cut through all the BS of that Five of Swords, right? The intellectual power of the Queen of Swords, right? So someone who is a master of, you know, their intellectual ability to put away all the bullshit and cut through all the BS and really be intellectually sound and cut through everything that really is terrorizing you or anything like that, you know. And then after cutting through that intellectual noise, and I'm sure you'll have a sound mind after the intellectuality is cut through, you have the Page of Cups, right? Which is the bringer of heart energy, right? Emotional energy, right? So moving through all of that, you know, you may have to. There's a period of hardship, sure, period of hardship with the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, the period of hardship. Yeah. So I'm kind of doing more in the reading now, but the last card is you know, the Ace of Pentacles, which is like new financial beginnings, new start, right? You know, you move from the Five of Swords all the way into the Ace of Pentacles, a new start, fresh beginning, right? And come back, right, with a renewed sense of purpose, and really bring down everything that you need to live a life of pure integrity and stuff, and things of that nature, things that are really hold on one second. This music's kind of, I don't want to listen to Joe Satriani. Rather listen to Dream Theater. But like I was saying about like going deep into your you know, like your past and your subconscious, like that's where you're gonna find everything. That's where you're gonna find everything. Instead of just being complacent and content in what is, find your reason to be, you know. It's all fucked up. Anyways, I apologize for too much pride in my appearance, or lack thereof, I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to talk about all these things, and you know, I want to not have negative assumptions rule my mind, and I want to be in contact with Spirit, and I want Spirit to talk to me, and I think that they will, and they have been. I think that I naturally have a muddy water that I have to overcome on a daily basis, being that you know, a diagnosis. And if you're cool with that, then you know, like maybe I'll, you know, continue to make more videos like this and move forward and speak more, you know. That'd be the right thing to do. But the music in my ears kind of getting a little gay. It was playing Avenged Sevenfold, which was badass, but now it's just kind of. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. If you're sticking around now, I just want to set intentions of like good things, and not let fear be the basis of my mindset, you know. If I really want to focus on spirituality, if I really want to focus on psychology and stuff like that, if I really want to focus on you know, learning from other people and developing certain wisdom within myself. I really have to take a look at things like of my past and things really big things like a diagnosis or a serious loss or like a serious event or a story that really shapes who you are and who you've become. Those intense things, those are the things that need to be taken a look at anyway. And for me, I had been going to a clinic to get my medicine and all my shots taken care of at a certain location for years. Right? It wasn't the beginning of my health journey, but it was where I was for a long period of time. Anyways, now they went back to the clinic right near the homeless shelter where I spent 2 years, which was just awful, but I overcame. Shortly put, yeah. And so that brought up a lot of memories, and I had to deal with that with help from people, right? In particular, I'm not going to name names, but people have helped. Lots of them. Lots of people have helped. Anyways, now in a couple of months, I'm going back to the beginning of the medical center here in San Antonio, which is where I first got treatment. And so that will be interesting, and I hope to grow and learn. And I'm very excited. I don't want to be cryptic in the things that I say, but I'm eager to leave no stone unturned. Use this new moon energy. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a cup of water and I'm gonna leave it out. Even though there's no moon, right? It's a new moon, right? I'm gonna leave a cup of water out overnight, probably for 2 nights. And then do something with it, maybe not drink it, but maybe like put it in my hair or something, or I don't know. But anyway, I hope this sufficed as some sort of information, berries you could take with you or something like that. I don't know. But I know I'm going to set good intentions, and I'm going to do what I can to be more susceptible to kindness and growth rather than negativity and black magic and things like of that nature. That could be like, metaphorically speak, things that like disrupt your healthy sound mind. So I'm gonna try to humble myself this new moon so I can come back stronger and more efficient and a better listener. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there. And hopefully I'll find more about you. You can find more about me, and maybe we can start a journey and move forward. And maybe I will post more often and become more adaptable to collective consciousness and things like that, because I feel like I have something to offer the world, and so do you. So, all right. Till next time. All right.